Hey y'all, it's your buddy JB here on this most unusual season that we find ourselves in. And I was encouraged today as I reflected back on some of our journey as an organization with Furnitureland and our local Sussex County Ashley home stores. Many of you may not be aware, but Furnitureland, when it began in 1991, actually began in a recession. If you look at the recessionary dips over the years and you look back at 1991, you'll find that right in the middle of that is when we launched. And during that time, I remember my dad's dad, his parents, Happy and Jean, very influential in my life. They were really hesitant to approve him starting the business and actually tried to dissuade my parents from starting the business given the economic circumstances and uncertainty. But needless to say, they forged ahead and did it anyway. In the midst of a recession, in the midst of uncertainty, they still chose to make progress. And man, aren't we thankful that they did. And so fast forward, probably only a couple of years after that, the business is growing and it's doing good, and they negotiate an incredibly good deal with someone who's building a bunch of homes, townhomes, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly. And in order to provide furniture for all of those homes, which was the deal that they had agreed upon, my parents, Larry and Beth, they were going to have to build an entire new warehouse that was almost the size of the whole showroom. So here they are, barely out of their infancy, and they've negotiated such a big deal that it's going to require them to make a massive investment in their business. And so the person with whom they were negotiating agreed that they would be the furniture provider. And so they undertook the building of this new warehouse. And about the time the warehouse was finished, the person with whom they had made the agreement backed out on the agreement. So here they are, still in their infancy as an organization, made a huge investment in building this new building, only to have the person with whom they had made the agreement to back out and not honor their word. And so here they are, scared and uncertain, and somehow they found a way to make it work. Somehow they reached down, they found the resiliency, they found the resolve, they were able to reinvent and study harder. There's like this healthy tightness at times in our stomach that can make us try hard, that can make us more creative, that can make us more resourceful. And I can remember my dad talking about those things through moments in history like this. Fast forward many years after that, and I'm involved in the business. And certainly there was many more instances of adversity between these two seasons, but I believe it was around 2006, and we decided we were going to build the Ashley home store and simultaneously a brand new racked state-of-the-art distribution facility. I mean, incredible. So we undertook the building of both of those buildings at the same time. A huge outlay of capital investment unlike anything we had ever done before in history. Well, many of you listening or watching this, you recall that in 2008 there's the mortgage crisis. So not even 2 years after making the greatest capital outlay, after building two incredible, beautiful buildings that are still incredible buildings that I'm proud of today, here comes this economic collapse, the worst recession since the Great Depression. And I remember I was working in the warehouse at the time as the manager, and I remember the great fear and uncertainty as we would watch very little traffic come into the stores, as we would watch sales decline 10, 20, 30% month over month. And it was scary. And it was another season, just like the 1991 recession when it was uncertain whether or not we should open, just like the next season when the person with whom we had made the agreement backed out. It was another season where your stomach gets tight and you're worried and you're concerned and you don't know how to move forward. But thankfully, it's in those seasons that you find greater levels of creativity, you find greater levels of innovation, you find greater levels of resourcefulness, you find another level of resiliency. You're able to bounce back. And so while we were uncertain, we worked and we tried new things. And quite honestly, the recession of 2008, the greatest recession since the Great Depression, was probably one of the best things that ever happened to our business, because we became way smarter operators. We studied our industry. We became students of our business again. Not that we ever stopped, but it made us really study even harder. And we emerged from that very healthy and have had many, many years of good health and growth as a result of that, leading most recently to last October in the opening of store number 1,000 in the Ashley Global Retail Network. And so here we find ourselves October, November, December, January, February, March. Not even barely 6 months later, we find ourselves into another time of economic uncertainty. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I hope that when you hear this series of setbacks, this series of seasons of uncertainty that we have endured and that we have learned resiliency through, that we have learned to be more creative and innovative through, the seasons that have made us better, the seasons that while we went through them, they were painful and we would not have wished them on anybody else, seasons that left us better, left us changed, helped to contribute to our growth professionally, personally, all the above. I want to encourage us, me included, because we all need some encouragement today. I want to encourage all of my team by pointing back at those things and saying this too will be a moment in time that if we choose to leverage it for good, for growth, to fuel our resourcefulness, to fuel our creativity, to help us to live with greater purpose and impact, this too will be at a time in history that will feed those initiatives. And so rest assured, my friends, that you are with an organization that knows how to face adversity, that knows how to dig down and find resiliency, and knows how to emerge from seasons of setback and scarcity in a manner where we will win. And we can't wait to do it with you, and we consider ourselves grateful to call you our teammates.